my friend and colleague Dede Laugesen of Save the Persecuted Christians. She is its president and CEO. And our topic is trying to do just that. And we have a very special guest with us who is very much concerned about this problem and in a position, we hope, quite soon, to perhaps do something material about it. Dede, introduce our guest, if you would, please.
Thanks, Frank. Always good to be here on Securing America with you to advocate for the world's persecuted Christians. And as you know, Nigeria has been a primary focus for our organization, which advocates for these Christians with other leaders who also provide aid and help to Christians. So we've been watching Nigeria since 2018 when we were founded. And I was in Nigeria in 2023 when our guest, Mr. Peter Obi, was running against the current president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu. He ran this campaign that was amazing to see, Frank, across Nigeria. The youth came out in this obedient campaign, and there were just an incredible enthusiasm for Mr. Peter Obi. He ran in a controversial election in that time, but he is now running again as a presidential candidate, and at this time for the National Democratic Congress, NDC party in Nigeria. Mr. Obi, it is so good to have you here. Of course, we've been watching with keen interest since last October when President Trump took aim on Nigeria and called out a Christian genocide there. It's been a very controversial issue in Nigeria, many saying that it is insecurity in general. You are in the hot seat, Mr. Obi. Why would you run for president in Nigeria when all of this international attention is coming down the pipe? Do you really believe that you have the answers, the solutions for what's plaguing Nigeria?
Thank you, Dede. I believe so. I can tell you categorically. Nigeria today needs transformation. It needs to move from isolation to innovation. It's a country that needs all the support it can get. First is that today we need unity in Nigeria. We need to unite the country. Everybody needs to come and love each other. We need to, on top of that unity, is where we're going to secure the country. We have troubling insecurity in Nigeria, which, again, yes, people can say, oh, this person is being persecuted, or this group is being persecuted, but generally, we have a total insecurity problem, which needs to be dealt decisively. If we have a government that is committed in it, we need a government that will be people-oriented, a compassionate government that will care about the welfare of the people.
Well, that is the government's first obligation, is to provide for the security and protection of its citizens. But in Nigeria, we see that the Tinubu government, in policing especially, many of the attacks that are happening, the kidnappings that are taking place at schools across Nigeria and elsewhere, we see that the police are slow to respond. When you were governor in Anambra, you were known for hands-on policing and giving police the equipment that they needed. Now Nigeria is looking at bringing states, right now under the current situation, you have federal policing, and police are not connected to the communities that they serve necessarily. State policing has been called for and is being implemented by the Nigerian legislature. How do you see this helping with insecurity in Nigeria? And are you the person who can lead that change, that transformation?
I believe so. We need a hands-on president who have the capacity to deal with those issues. Today, I believe this security issue in Nigeria can be dealt with decisively. We have a system, we have a state, and the state must be in charge, and they must be seen to be in charge. An issue of state policing has to start from the community. When I was governor, what we did was to support the community because the community knows those criminals within them. So we supported the community to deal with issues decisively by supporting the communities, giving them vehicles, paying directly their own vigilante outfit and everything. From there, the state was doing its own, and then make sure we work with all the federal agencies to be able to secure the state. And I believe that if the president is committed to doing that at national level, a lot can be achieved. There's no way non-state actors can be stronger than the state unless there's complicity.
And what do you think about that
Mr. Obi,
complicity?
could I just ask a question, Dede?
Go ahead, Frank.
I think we're going to get to the same question. One of the concerns that we have, and I think President Trump has had, has been evidence that the state, that is to say the federal government, has been complicit in some of the insecurity in the country. Do you believe that's the case? And what can you do if elected as president to rectify that?
Well, for me, it's not what I believe or not, but if you look at the actions of the federal government, it is not decisive enough. It doesn't show the attention that is required. Let me use the case of school kidnaps. One of the most recent being the one in Oyo State. This is about over 50 days. The president have not spoken to the governor, who is the chief executive at sub-national level. You can imagine what it is if in America today, no matter the differences, something happens in a state and the president is not talking to the governor. It shouldn't be. If I was president, I would have visited Oyo State several times, and we can't be talking about any other thing when our children are in the bushes.
Yeah, and these children are under 5 years old. These are very small children. They're 5 and under, Frank. There's 34 of them, and they saw their teacher be beheaded. And he hasn't talked to the governor?
Everything would have stopped if I was there. Everything. We can't be talking about re-election, talking about other things. I would have invited all the leaders of other parties, and all of us would have been in Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, meeting with the governor, especially after beheading a teacher.
What can the United States do going forward to help Nigeria? How can U.S. engagement be a positive for Nigeria?
Well, in so many ways. They can support us in terms of security. They can do so in terms of governance, more especially in terms of election. We need to have free, fair, and credible election that will allow us to elect competent leadership with capacity, compassion, commitment, and character that are required in government. Because you need that. If we have government that have capacity today, it will be the other way around, because there's so many other things happening in Nigeria. It's not just insecurity. That is our problem. We have problem where we have huge number of people living in poverty. huge number of youth unemployment. So you need to have a government that is going to fight the corruption that exists today in the country, be able to use the resources of the country to invest in productivity that will unleash growth and be able to create jobs for these young people. You need to invest in education. You need to invest in health of the people. So there's other critical areas that if we have support of countries globally, we can start changing.
Mr. Obi, thank you for joining us and for this sort of enunciation of a very different vision for your country than what we have been witnessing there for now altogether too long. Security, particularly for the Christians who have been suffering egregiously.
For everybody, not just Christians, for everybody.
Not just Christians.
But I want everybody's looking for help.
But especially so. We're anxious to make sure that Nigeria prospers, and it has to be recognized. Its people have to be secure for that to happen. We wish you the best, sir, and hope you will come back to us with updates on your campaign. Dede, thank you for joining us as well and making this conversation possible. God bless you both. We'll be right back, folks. Stay tuned.